Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Jack Marshman, you are going to be flying the flag as the main event for Cage Warriors Wales when you fight Ali Arish. And to be fair, I've got to take my hat off to Arish stepping in to take the fight with you. You know, coming into your backyard. I believe Ian Dean said it was hard to get a matchup for you. I'm not surprised you're on a 4-fight win streak. He's a good opponent as well. He's a tough guy to fight. You must be pretty pleased with the kind of result you got from an opponent like that.
Yeah, definitely. I like Ali. I've met him a few times, and yeah, I like him. Like you say, he is. You got to take your hat off to him coming down. Everyone knows what I do, but you know, everyone also knows what he does. He's going to look to grind out a fight with me and you know, pin me down. I think what was probably gone through his head more than anything is, you know, I've had dramas with my wrestling in my past, and you know, that's why people have took the fight, you know, to beat me. So he's probably thinking, well, he's a top wrestler, so that, you know, it's an easy fight for him, I expect. But you know, I've not just been lazing around whilst Cage Warriors have not been around. I've been working hard, working my bollocks off. You know, I done a camp down at Tristar. I went, you know, I fought all over. I've worked on everything. So, you know, I definitely think it's not going to be the fight he thinks. You know.
I was going to say, yeah, you went to Tristar. Wasn't that before the Kyle Redfern fight? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And how was it then? How did you find it when you were there? Because obviously there's a lot of British folk going over anyway. You had like Joe Calderwood's gone over there, Stevie Ray, and Tom Breeze's been there he's almost set up shop there really. But how was it then for yourself, from your perspective? How did you find your experience?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Well, I've known Tom and that for years. Obviously, we fought on the same circuit, and so it was instantly, I knew a couple of people there. Obviously, I knew Arnie Allen. Yeah. Because obviously I knew him from Colchester, and he trained with my brother. So I went in, it's like, you know, the little Team UK clique, let's say, like, and they, you know, you just get to know everyone. The reason I went in the first place is because Coach Eric O'Keefe, one of the coaches out there, he was Tom Watson's coach when Tom beat me. And ever since then, he was trying to get me out there. He trying to get me to go to Tristar. So, you know, in the end, as soon as I had a bit of time in between, like with work and whatever, I just took the opportunity and went for it. And yeah, I loved it, to be honest with you. It was brilliant.
Will you go back again, you reckon, for a little session if you get time?
Yeah, 100%. It's obviously, you know, I'm like full time in the army, so it's I can't just up and do it when I want. Yeah. But if I've got, you know, I'm on a good win streak at the minute. If the fights keep going the way they're going and the fights keep getting bigger, it's a good chance that, you know, they're going to let me just go train and make me a better fighter, you know what I mean, invest the time in me. So, yeah, I'll definitely go back there. It's, you know, if I get to the UFC or whatever, that's the gym I want to train from, you know what I mean? I just thought the coaching out there was brilliant. The fighters out there were brilliant. It was an unreal experience, really.
Yeah, they've got such depth as well with the fighters available to train with. I suppose it is one of those beautiful places where you're getting strikers, grapplers. It's just Christmas Day when you walk in there for sparring or just general training.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you go there and spar on a Saturday morning, and it is brilliant, to be fair.
Now, like I say, your opponent, Arish, he is tough. Like you said, he's beat like Jack Mason. I think he's beat Matt Enman as well in the past. So he's not a slouch. And like you said, he's going to look to grind it. You said, we were speaking before, you're coming in lighter. Do you feel that coming in lighter, your conditioning, if you want to try and grind it, will be something beneficial for you, having that conditioning to really kind of be able to keep a pace up that will stop him trying to do that?
You know, with all my weight cuts in the past, and where I was doing them wrong and not dieting right, and you know, I've missed weight, and I've just had a hard time doing it, and I killed myself to make the weight. This time, like I said, I finished my gym and that earlier. I was 5 pound over earlier, you know. A bit heavier now, where I'm fully hydrated and had my dinner, and you know what I mean. But within a couple of pound of it now. Tomorrow I'll cut a little bit of weight, and I'm on weight. I could make weight tomorrow and fight tomorrow if I wanted. It's no drama, and like obviously that helps out with the conditioning. But my actual conditioning, my fitness, I've never had no dramas there. I've always been able to push the pace in every fight I've ever been in. I've never slowed down. I don't really take many backward steps. Obviously, when you're fighting a wrestler like Arish, I'm probably gonna be a bit more on the back foot, boxing, because. The way I look at the fight, like I say, I got a lot of respect for him, and what he does very well. Like I said, he beat Jack Mason, and I've trained with Jack Mason, and I know how good he is himself. Yeah. So I understand that's a good win and that, but that was years ago, and I think if they fought now, I think that'd be a different fight as well. But I just feel. I've developed my wrestling and my defence enough to cope with his, but I don't think he's been putting the time and effort in to develop his striking to cope with mine. You know what I mean? So I think I'm at a strong advantage here. I think I knew where I was going wrong. I knew what my problems were, and I've worked my bollocks off to get better in them areas. You know what I mean? Like I got my purple belt in BJJ now, and I'm competing. I'm winning competitions at purple belt. It's not like I'm just getting it just because I'm in with my coach or whatever. I'm a legitimate purple belt, and I'm doing well grappling, doing well at wrestling. Like I'm working on my weak areas, whereas I don't feel, no disrespect to Ali, but I don't feel like he's trying to do anything with his hands whatsoever. He's just interested in wrestling with them.
Yeah, he's happy to keep his strength, and not bring everything up into par, so to speak. Well, the thing is, if people want an example of your kind of boxing, you can look at the Chain Mills fight. That was bloody crazy. But the thing is, that's an example that your boxing was on display, and I think people can use that. But then again, if Ali does get you down, another example people can use is they can look at the bowler fight with that armbar.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think, to be honest with you, my jiu-jitsu is a lot better than what people think in general. I think
you just don't get to use it. That's all. The fights that you have, they don't come out.
I look to strike in every fight. I'm not there to find out decisions. The Kyle Redfern fight. You know what I mean? That guy, he hits you and it's dangerous. You could go get. You don't know what day of the week it is. Yeah. He hits you. So he opened me up with a cut in the first round. And then I just controlled it through wrestling. I just wrestled with him, and I changed my game plan on the fly. You know what I mean? That's the type of fighter I am now. I've developed to the point where I'm not just a boxer, I'm not just a grappler, I'm not just a wrestler. I'll put it all together. I can mix it up, and I haven't really got a strong game plan for Ali Arish. I know where I'm good, and obviously the thing is, everyone knows what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Whereas with me, if I don't feel, if I'm boxing him, and I'm catching him with jabs, but I'm not really going to get that big powerful shot off because I got to be wary of his takedown. I might just shoot a double on him.
Aye. Yeah.
It's not, and I'd say his takedown defense isn't as good. He's a very good wrestler when he's taking people down, but you catch him with a couple of shots, put him on his back. But the difference being, if I get him on his back, I'll be looking to put him out. Whereas if he gets me on my back, he'll be looking to hold me there and win the round. You know what I mean? Yeah,
get the time, get the clock up the minutes. On dominant position. Yeah. Now, the thing is, this Cage Warriors card now is going to be on UFC Fight Pass. Now that itself, that's awesome, isn't it? Like the fact that it's going to be worldwide. It's on UFC Fight Pass, which is kind of turned into like the MMA channel, the World MMA channel now. The amount of promotions they're sticking on there, that's pretty badass, mate. Getting on that, that's a nice little deal. That must add a bit of sweetness to the fight itself.
Yeah, massively. Like obviously, my coach actually runs the Cage Warriors Wales event, so and I've known about all this coming out for a good while, but it's just it is proper exciting. You know what I mean? It's like I was watching this weekend's UFC with Cody Garbrandt.
Yes.
Do you know on the little break in between where they'd advertise next week's fights and that, and it's like UFC 199, and then underneath it was like just before Cage Warriors. Like it was like Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool, to be honest. It was. It's just, you're heading in the right direction when you're main eventing a show on UFC Fight Pass. You actually see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, because
yes.
we all want to go to the same place, don't we? Obviously.
And I've spoke with a guy who's in that kind of light at the end of the tunnel with Brett Johns. I spoke with him about it. There's you, Lou Long, and Brett Johns, who are like spearheading the kind of Welsh MMA scene, and all three of you are like literally. It's almost like you've got.
And Johnny Phillips, he probably went away.
Sorry, yes, on Bama, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like, as you got guys like that. It's like, there's four of us that, if they wanted to sign some Welsh guys to the UFC now, they got four guys instantly.
Yeah.
That they could sign. That are on good win streaks that are high level.
Mm-hmm.
But then on top of that, you've got a load of younger guys that are coming through doing well.
Yeah.
That, within the next year or so, they'll be able to be signed as well. So it's like exactly what happened when McGregor got signed to the UFC. Obviously, he opened the door, and then like everyone started putting Irish accents on and stuff like that. They all got they all got signed, didn't they? It's like, so I just hope. I don't care if I'm the first Welshman in the UFC. It don't bother me. You know what I mean? I'm hardly exactly the big talker or anything. So, but as soon as one guy gets in, I got a good feeling that it's going to be similar to that UFC sort of, and similar to the Irish sort of bombardment, where as soon as one guy gets there, they'll realise the door. And with this Cage Warriors being in Wales, and they got a load of Welsh guys on the card that are top level. If we get some good wins, I think the UFC might look and go, actually, yeah, that's an untapped resource there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I think as well. I'm with you as well. I think it's one of them ones where all of you are just shy, and it's like it just takes one of you to do it. And I think it's that ripple effect. And I was joking around saying it would be awesome if you had the Millennium Stadium, the roof closed. It would be immense.
That's what I mean, and you never know. Obviously, someone could be that exciting guy that everyone's loving to watch, and that could actually happen. You know what I mean? It's not. Granted, you know what I mean. Like we haven't even got one Welsh guy in the UFC, which is ridiculous because we've got loads of decent guys.
Aye.
But you know what I mean. I think this guy. We got guys that ain't in the UFC that are much better than guys that are. But like Brett Johns, he's. You know what I mean? The guy's 12 and 0. He's won 2 different world titles in 2 big organisations.
Yep.
He's, you know what I mean? Why haven't they nipped him up yet? You know what I mean? But then they'll nip some like random Australian guy up or something that that isn't that great. You know what I mean? But I understand it is just luck of the draw at the minute. And I think, like I said, as soon as we get the door open, in my opinion, I think like Liu Long now. He's like a 5-fight win streak. He wins one more, and this guy's fought has just been cut from the UFC. I can't see why they don't sign Lou. And that'll be the first guy there, and then it'll be, that's when the doors will start opening for us.
Well, that's the thing that you guys, you three are fighting. Like for example, Brett Johns ain't fighting no smoke. He's going across to America to fight on. Like you say, on Titan FC, Lou Long went across. Was it Abu Dhabi he fought down at last?
Yeah. Abu Dhabi Warriors.
That's what I mean. And it's the thing, like, you guys aren't fighting, just Joe Smith off the street. You guys are fighting.
Yeah.
Like, you're all getting hard tests, and it's kind of like, look, these guys are.
I've literally. If you look at my career, I've literally done the big chunks of my career, on like. Bama and Cage Warriors, the big shows against the big names. That's exactly where I've been. So I've got a couple of lot, but it's like not one guy on my loss list that haven't really been like either signed to the UFC or it's currently signed. Or do you know what I mean? It's like I've beat guys that have been there as well. So it's like I'm on the cusp. I think.
I do feel, honestly, I've said it to Brett. I chat to Brett Johns off air, sort of speaking. I've said. I can really see 2016. It's going to be. It sounds silly, but it's going to be the year that Wales kind of comes onto the MMA map.
Yeah. It's because it's like I was saying earlier. It's exactly what happened to the Irish, wasn't it? It was like
it was.
All of a sudden this superstar Conor McGregor comes in on the picture, and people are like, "Fucking hell, he's crazy." What are the other Irish guys like? and they got involved in, Irish MMA at a very high level, but I wouldn't say he's any higher than Welsh MMA. There's loads of top Welsh MMA guys. I'd say this is the next Conor McGregor here because he is a one of a kind guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about fighting wise. I'm talking these guys that are high level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got Jack Shaw as well as a prospect. It's very early in his career, but you got a future prospect as well coming through on the card. It's good time.
Yeah, he's gonna get. The way I look at it, that's if I had to fucking put my mystic head on, I'd honestly think like Liu Long could easily get signed after this one. I'll probably end up fighting for the title next on Cage Warriors. You know what I mean? I win that. I'll get signed. Brett got to get signed. I'm sure John N. Faraway. I'm sure he'll probably be signed whether he fights another one or whether he doesn't. And then I think like people like Jack Shaw, he'll get to like 5-6-0 because he had a big amateur career.
He did, yeah.
Whereas when we was younger, I had a fair few amateurs, but it wasn't the same sort of pedigree when I was younger.
It isn't, is it, Jack? It's crazy how good the standard is now at amateur.
Yeah. Well, there's some there's some legitimate Aidan James from Chris Reese from Brett's gym. Like they took him and Scott Pedersen up to London the other day to fight on World Fighting Series. Is it the London one? Yes,
I know which one you're on. Warrior Fight Series.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And they went up there, and I think they was took up there to lose both. They both come away. One of them beat that Charlie Boy Howard, who's they really rating highly at amateur, and he's going to be the next thing, the pro. And Scott beat him, and Aidan beat another guy that's highly rated. Like the level of Welsh MMA from amateur grassroots is unbelievable at the minute, really. So. Like I said, it's going to be a few years, and then all of a sudden the UFC is just going to be crazy full of Welsh. The same as it was with when the first couple of English guys turned. Back in the days like with Dan Hardy and that turned up, all of a sudden there was loads of English guys.
Yeah, there was.
And then it happened. There's a fair few Scottish guys in there now.
Yeah.
There's a load of Irish guys in there. There's just the other nation they forgot about. That's all it is. We'll get there, I'm sure of it.
You will. I'm telling you, I can see it this year. It's almost like it's impossible to avoid. It'd be crazy for them not to even acknowledge the fact that you guys is killing it. Really, at the moment, and I'm looking forward to the card itself. And it's like you say, people can get to watch these these new faces. They get to see these new prospects coming through. And not only you got established names like yourselves and Lou and stuff, and guys fighting on the card and new faces. It's a nice combination. I like the fact that Cage Warriors are back. I think it makes a huge as much as Bama weren't too keen on them obviously coming back. I'm glad they are.
Yeah. I think it works well. We're better off having two good promotions going on as opposed to one. Because in reality, there's too many fighters for one promotion to try and get to that next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they all do it. Like Cage Warriors are just as guilty as Bama, but they want to sign everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They sign everyone. Like then if you put in four shows on a year, 4-5 shows a year, and you've got 12 fights on each card, there's a lot of people hanging around who get fuck all done. Really.
Yeah.
Like so. I'd rather it. The more top level promotions that there are about, the better for us people who are trying to progress. Because we can't really afford 6 months of nothing happening.
No.
We need to be busy. When you get to the UFC and you're making mega bucks, yeah, it's all right. 6 months in between fights, that's all right. But when you're sat there with no money in between fights, obviously I'm lucky I'm still in the army full time, but if you got, I know there's guys that don't work and does it as a, they're trying to get somewhere, they can't afford not to be fighting every couple of months.
No, and that's why I think, like you say, you're right. It's also good for competition. It's just good in general for the fighters. I'm all for supporting the fighters as much as we need the promotions. The fighters are the ones that help the promotions really. And Cage Warriors, with Ian Dean, doing the matchmaking. I just love Ian Dean's matchmaking skills. The guy, he would just pull a name out that you might not like. When he pulled out Demir Hadzovic, I didn't have a clue who that kid was, and when I looked into him, I was like, where the hell did he find him? You know, they're just. Oh.
If you have a conversation with Ian Dean, man, he's probably got like the deepest knowledge of European MMA.
Yeah.
It's not. He's like the Rain Man, and he's like you. Like you could just name a weight, you know, or you're looking for someone, and he'll just name some guy from Scandinavia that's 10 and 2, and do you know what I mean? And 2 hours later, he's on the phone to their coach, and he's getting matched up. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't mess around. He is very good at his job. I think outside the UFC, he is probably the best matchmaker.
Yeah.
In the business, really.
And darts, Jack. He knows his darts very well.
Does he? Oh, he fried my brain after an MMA conversation. So.
Honestly, when the World Darts Championships come on, you just see your Twitter feed just fill up with Ian Dean.
Oh, did he?
Oh, he's brilliant. I love him. Absolute great guy he is. Jack, honestly, I can't wait to see you fight this weekend. It's great to see you on the big screen again. You've been fighting local events while Cage Warriors has been off the scene, so to speak. You're back. You're going to make a big bang on in your home country. I reckon it's going to be electric. That atmosphere is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. I always appreciate the support. I'm absolutely buzzing for it this weekend.
Right, I won't lie, but I shouldn't pick sides. I should be trying to be balanced. But Airborne, here we go.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You can't go against the Airborne side.
No, you can't. Jack, before I let you go though, bud, let everyone know what your social media is, mate, so they can jump on, give you a follow.
Obviously, Jack Marshman 89 for Instagram, and then just Jack Marshman on Twitter and Jack Marshman on Facebook. Give us a follow.
And what about your sponsors,
cool,
mate?
I'm too cool for Facebook friends at the minute. I've hit over 5,000, so
oh.
I'm too cool, and
You're too cool, mate. Have you not got? You need to get a fighter page set up. They're limitless, then fighter pages.
Oh, I think I have got one, but I don't actually do that much with it.
You're crap.
A guy set it up for me, and he puts all the news and stuff on there, like. But you know, my actual private Facebook, I can actually speak to people there and reply on that.
And what about your sponsors, buddy? Any sponsors helping you out?
Yeah, Top Spec Motors have been sponsoring me for it. They basically, the guys have paid for me to go train at Tristar and stuff like that. They've constantly helped me out. Obviously, the main one is just the parachute regiment. Obviously, I'm still a serving soldier, and they've just helped me from day one. And if it was for, I had 2 years basically of training and becoming the best fighter I am, so I couldn't get any better than I am at the minute, and it's all down to the army basically.
It's awesome that they do that. They support people like that in yourself doing this, and you know they do other sports as well. It's not just MMA, but it's great that they're doing it for you, and the fact that you're doing both. You're multitasking both skill sets, mate. It's awesome. And don't want to give you're fighting a parachute regiment, but don't want to give a shout out to your gym, where it is, if people want to go and train there, or want to even just not even compete, just fitness wise and stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, obviously I train out at Tulare Combat in South Wales, which is in Blaenau. We got a gym full of high-level lads, and it's no egos or whatever. You turn up, and everyone helps everyone. And then when I'm in Essex, I train at BKK, and they're exactly the same. I'm enjoying working with them, and obviously because I got a different aspect of my training now, I feel like I'm learning a lot with them. So yeah, train at either of those gyms, and I guarantee you won't regret it.
Well, look at cross training. You got good news there. Cross training. You obviously done TriStar as well. You're adding to your skill set. Is what I like to hear. You're looking to learn.
Yeah. For years and years, I stuck to one place, and now I've moved about, and I've trained at different places, and I love that. I think that's a big part of fighting. So
I can't wait to see the new Jack Marshman on a Cage Warriors big scene. I can't wait to see what you've got to offer on this fight. I know what you can do, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's being added to your tools, buddy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. I appreciate it.